not ideal for the Saints. They want to dominate the faceoff and also wear down this high-pressure Sacred Heart defense that likes to get physical in their one-on-one matchups.
And that can be the neutralizer when you're getting beat at the faceoff X, is turning over your opponent. Sacred Heart has had the knack for that this season. James Moran goes to goal. Arcuri, he has started this game very strong. Fifth-year senior, looking to win his first MAC championship and the school's first in 11 years.
And I love what his head coach said when we talked to him this week. He gets better throughout the game as he sees more shots. Definitely was evident in their semifinal win over Marist as he had the game-sealing save in the final seconds.
And that's got to give you confidence, right? You ride that semifinal euphoric feeling into a championship game. So many seniors on this field that want to finish their careers as MAC champions. Even though Sacred Heart did it a year ago, this is a senior class. When they were freshmen, only won 2 games. So they have battled from the bottom of the conference to the top.
And then their sophomore year, they only won 5 games. So they felt heartbreak in this tournament, and they're looking to win their first MAC title. But you gotta maintain possession in order to string some plays together. First MAC title since 2014.
That's why Sacred Heart is so difficult to go against. Their defense, you mentioned causing chaos, but they just force their opponents into more mistakes than you typically see.
They also allow their offense to settle into a game. We saw that throughout the entirety of this season, but the defense has been the backbone of this team, led by goalkeeper Alex Pazienza.
Pioneers trying to go back-to-back in the MAC. Tied at 1. 8 minutes remaining in this first quarter. A spot in the NCAA tournament on the line. This is John Murray, the junior, trying to weave through traffic, absorbs a big double team, and it's stolen away. Siena causing the turnover that time.
John Murray having a breakout junior year. He commands the attention of a defense when he's catching the ball off of the movement on the backside, trying to dodge on the recovering defense. But an early collapsing double team will go to number 46 on Sacred Heart early.
Here's McCarthy, assisted the lone goal for Siena. He's got Sacred Heart hung up behind the cage at X. Very patient, surveying, see if anybody can shake free. Cavioli turns it over again, and the turnover's really starting to pile up for Siena.
It's just that physical on-ball, tenacious pressure by this Sacred Heart defense. When you close the gap and you make contact, you get on the hands of your matchup, it makes them rush their decision-making, flusters an offensive player on the perimeter, and you're seeing that early for the Siena offense that we're used to seeing put a lot of points on the board.
Here's Ryan Rooney, the sophomore who stepped up big for Tucker Spencer, the leading goal scorer, who's unavailable for this championship game. Both of these teams exercising patience on their offensive possessions. Kind of like a heavyweight boxing fight, just feeling each other out in the early moments of this opening quarter.
And part of that is reading what matchups they're choosing to support from a defensive perspective. This is a Siena defense that likes to go and support each other in terms of sending the double team to the Dodger, but they've got to read where that's favorable to them.
This is James Moran, 44 and white, feeds to the doorstep. What a goal! Jake Ward buries it. He's got both of Sacred Heart's goals to start this championship game.
How about the quarterback of your team stepping up and burying the rock around the crease? Slips right into the seam on the backside of the defense and cans it from close range.
The MAC Men's Lacrosse Championship is brought to you by Jersey Mike Subs, a sub above. The MAC Men's Lacrosse Championship is brought to you by Jersey Mike Subs, a sub above. The MAC Men's Lacrosse Championship is brought to you by Jersey Mike Subs, a sub above.
Trying to get back to the top of the MAC since 2014. Sacred Heart did it a year ago. Their head coach, John Basti, 12th season as head coach of the Pioneers. When he was hired by athletic director Bobby Valentine, it was to build a program. He said those were the three words he wrote on the whiteboard: build a program. Well, when you can go back-to-back winning your conference, Coach, you got a great program.
He's all about the culture, and I love how he talks about the road to building a successful program. And the fact that when your roster changes year to year, your culture does not change at all. And that is evident in the way that John Basti coaches, the way he inspires his players in the locker room, and what he's built here at Sacred Heart.
Hired in 2013. It was a tumultuous road at times. 2-win seasons that he felt like he got the support necessary to build this program back up in the MAC. Leading 2-1 early in this championship game. Great save on the run. Arcuri denies it. Andrew Arcuri, 3 saves in this first quarter. They've all been spectacular stops.
That one on Tim Kiley, you just see how explosive and shifty he is, his ability to get to the middle of the field. But Andrew Arcuri having a big day already, despite his team losing the face-off battle. Sacred Heart has won 3 of the 4. This was an area we're used to seeing Siena flourish in, but they did not in their semifinal win over Marist. Marist won 20 to Siena's 13.
Caden Olmstead off to his fellow midfielder, Radomski. Big 14 goes in, shot deflects. At 6'4", 200 pounds, you got to be brave to soak that check. Sacred Heart fails to capitalize in transition, but they pry it free and stay on possession. It's those hustle plays.
It is. You see the soaking of the shot, the last-ditch effort to win back possession in the ride. That's where Sacred Heart likes to live.
Siena's got numbers in transition. The long pole goes to goal, bounces it home. Joe Valenza, a long pole goal to tie it at 2.
Alex Arcuri stays patient, reads it right into that stick-side high location, triggers quick transition, and it's Joe Valenza. A little hesitation move that freezes the slide from the crease from the long stick midfielder. The All-MAC rookie team member having a ridiculous campaign. His head coach calls him one of the most talented offensive LSMs that he's ever been around. You see why right there. It's his 6th goal of the year, but he does so much for this team in terms of opening up opportunities on the fast break.
And you know that's highlighted on the Sacred Heart scouting report when you have a long pole with 6 goals, 4 assists on the season. Good face-off win for Logan Bannock, the freshman MAC Rookie of the Year, MAC face-off specialist of the year. I'm sure he's highlighted and underlined the Sacred Heart scouting report as well.
Absolutely. Been dominating at the face-off dot all season long. Just fights on every last face-off, but he struggled in that semifinal win.
His worst performance of the season, just 12 of 32. They need him at 50% or better like he's been much of this season. Good ball movement here by Siena, passing around the perimeter, trying to unlock what has been a very difficult Sacred Heart defense. McCarthy had Hufnagel. A push in the back will keep the ball with Siena.
That was certainly the right call, pushing the back on the interior of that defense.
NHL postseason Game 7 tonight. The Avalanche traveling to Dallas to take on the Stars. 8 p.m. Eastern on ABC and ESPN+. Two teams that are fighting to keep their season alive, just like we've got today here in Fairfield between Sacred Heart and Siena. The loser, their season's over. The winner, not only do you win a championship, but you go on to the NCAA tournament.
This is where Siena struggles a little bit offensively when they're not forcing the slide to come to the Dodgers. So they get a little stagnant in their 1v1s.
Will Adell, low angle shot there, trying to wrap around and score. 15 seconds to shoot. Shot clock did not reset on that shot. Hufnagel drilled, and that's a penalty. Connor Hufnagel took a big pop there to the head. These are the hits that the game's working so hard to avoid. The officials will come together and see if they want to escalate this penalty.
And this is something they can review, a hit to the head and neck area.
But let's get the call.
Nice. We have a green foul. That's right, white foul, white foul, white foul. Illegal contact to the head. 2 minutes locked in foul. We're gonna replay.
So it looks like they're gonna go take a look at this. Right now it's a 2-minute non-releasable penalty because of that contact to the head and neck area on the slide here. Two minutes because it's a direct hit to the head.
Yeah, you can see that won't take long to replay on the video review. That's an obvious one. Now you can teach that in an officiating clinic for what would be called for a hit to the head. So because of the hit to the head there on Pellegrino, 2 minutes non-releasable penalty, which means usually if you score a goal, the penalty is released. That is not the case here. Siena will be man up for the entire 2 minutes, and the way they win the faceoff,
I was gonna say,
this could become make it, take it a man up.
So confirmed, 2-minute full-time penalty for Quentin Pellegrino.
And absolutely the right call.
Absolutely. You've got to slide to the body, but not make contact with the head and neck area when you're coming to help.
Whose shot are you trying to unlock here, Charlotte, on the man up if you're Siena?
Well, you got to look at number 14 in green, Patrick Radomski. Been held scoreless, but he uses his body, his tall frame, to his advantage as an outside shooting threat.
They go to Radomski. Didn't get a clean look there, but knew he had the backup, so it stays Siena possession. You'd have to think number 20 in green, Pratt Reynolds, gets a look as well. 50 goals on the season.
And when you have stretch shooters on the perimeter, Pratt Reynolds knows exactly how to make the backside pay, to step into the correct gap to be able to set his feet and shoot.
Radomski takes another one, and it goes in! Patrick Radomski muscled it just past Pazienza, who thought he got a good read on it. And the first team All-MAC midfielder fires Siena in front, 3-2. Good call.
The 6'4", tall frame from the outside. We know his dodging ability, his ability to win his matchup. He can be placed anywhere on the offensive set. But him with time and room, his hands are free, a subtle hitch as the defense is surveying where he's gonna make his next move. steps into the gap. Textbook high to low from the perimeter.
Head coach Liam Gleason loves it. MAC Coach of the Year this season, trying to win his first MAC championship. And remember, unreleasable 2-minute penalty. The officials have blown the play dead here. Logan Bannock, the freshman faceoff man's upset because he won the clamp and possession. Instead, they'll do a redo on the faceoff. And that's a critical moment in the game because on the redraw, it's Sacred Heart that earns possession and now can kill this man up.
And that's tough if you're Logan Bannock. You won that face-off, and then you got to reset, and you get a violation there.
I expect Siena to be aggressive here, man up, bring a lot of pressure, try and force a turnover.
And the man-up penalty matched with the shot clock, so they could kill this.
And if you're Sacred Heart playing man down for 2 minutes, you're okay if you can come away with it, only allowing 1 goal.
Absolutely. I think you're feeling good if you come away with only 1 goal in that 2-minute non-releasable penalty.
Now, why wouldn't Siena be bringing a double team here?
It's hard because you want to protect the middle. You want to protect the pass. But they're backing the ball, and here comes the pressure, the trap behind.
Ten seconds left to shoot for Sacred Heart. They haven't even looked at goal to go shorthanded. And that kills the man up for Siena. Only 10 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Valenzo scored earlier, dangerous from deep with a long pole, decides not to go to goal. And Siena earns a 3-2 lead headed to the second quarter. MAC championship. 2 teams desperate to get their hands on that trophy and extend their seasons. Jake Ward has both goals for Sacred Heart. Siena, though, a 3-2 lead after 1. Start of the second quarter between the top 2 seeds that have met in the MAC championship game. Winner moving on to the NCAA tournament. Siena, a 3-2 lead. Their head coach, Liam Gleason, MAC Coach of the Year this season. When he took the job in 2019, it was to restore Siena to the top of the MAC. They had been a perennial power for a while in this conference, but they have not won since 2014.
And they were in the MAC championship game in 2023, but this is a senior class for the Siena Saints that have felt heartbreak. In 2022, they lost in the semifinal round. 2023, they lost in the title game. And last year, they lost in the semifinal round to this very Sacred Heart team. So they're looking to break that streak and punch their ticket to the big dance.
And no surprise, it is a close and competitive game. That is what we were expecting with these two teams met 6 weeks ago. They went to overtime. Sacred Heart won it 11-10. Would not be surprised to get another one-goal thriller today with a championship on the line. Pioneers have done very well at the face-off X, going against Logan Bannock, who is the MAC face-off man of the year, 65% on the season. But Sacred Heart has won 5 of the opening 7 face-offs. Couldn't cash in with that possession. What do you want to see more of offensively for Siena?
I want to see them own their matchups 1v1. This is something we saw versus Marist. The offense struggled to gel when the assisted opportunities weren't coming. But the only way to get those opportunities is to get the defense to rotate, support a matchup, and then you have someone open on the backside who can dodge on that recovering defender.
Well, the good thing for Siena is they've got the 3-2 lead, and they struggled on the offensive sets in that first quarter. A lot of their goals came from good transition play. A very difficult Sacred Heart defense to break down. Alex Pazienza has been a stalwart in cage throughout his career for the Pioneers. Running out of the box. Radomski goes to goal, bounces that wide. Another whizzes wide.
And Connor Hofnagel heads to the box. Looks like he's in a lot of pain. Number 11, the senior lefty Dodger for the Siena Saints.
We'll get you an update on him as soon as we can. Has one of Siena's 3 goals already. Shot clock down to 7. Olmstead trying to make something happen. On the run, the lefty trying to get his hands free. Pazienza read it the whole way.
The Sacred Heart defense is getting into the body, closing the gap on the Siena Dodgers on the perimeter. And that's letting this defense not have to send the slide and not have to create early, easy offense for Siena. And that's where they like to live. So you can tell the Siena offense going against the Sacred Heart defense. Sacred Heart defense scouting report probably said, own your 1v1 matchups. Do your job as a defender.
And they have. They've been dialed in defensively. Now can their offense ignite? Jake Ward, 3 and 1, has both Pioneers goals. That one rings off the top of the bar. Tim Kiley inches away there. Now Siena can move in transition.
Michael Mareshi came out of the box, so the full head of steam to set up that play and transition. We've seen the pace that this Sacred Heart team likes to play at, but that was as good of a look as you can get in that fast break, second break offense opportunity.
Patrick Linton, second line midfielder from Camillus, New York, operating from behind the cage. Curls around. Well, he had a cutting Jack Cavioli, just couldn't connect with it. And now Sacred Heart can start the clear. Will Moulton spins into a double team, passes out of it. Good ball movement here, and it leads to a goal! Caden Broadnax, he's red hot. Had a hat trick in the semifinal win. Now a goal in the championship game. He only had 2 goals the entire season before this MAC tournament run.
He's also coming off the best game of his career. Will Moulton draws the attention, and it's Broadnax off the double pass out of the double team. You see how much juice that Caden Broadnax plays with. The graduate senior, his head coach says it means so much to him to fight for another day with the team. The amount of heart that this guy plays with, I love the passion and the leadership he displays in everything he does out there on the field.
Longest face-off battle of the game. Luke Romanek going toe-for-toe with the MAC first teamer Logan Bannock. It's Romanek who emerges with it, shovels it. And a foul called, and a timeout taken by Sacred Heart.
Smart timeout there as the defense was collapsing. Sacred Heart ties this one up, and they win possession again at the face-off dot.
UFC Fight Night coming to you from Des Moines, Iowa. Bantamweights battling. You do not want to miss it. The prelims begin 7 Eastern on ESPN, followed by the main card at 10 Eastern, ESPNplus.com/UFC. Now this feels like a heavyweight fight in the MAC, tied at 3. Just get the feeling in this championship game, Charlotte, it's going to be very difficult to separate.
And possession is one of those keys. Luke Romanek, 5 of 7 so far at the face-off, and that is huge because you're going up against one of the best in the nation in Logan Bannock.
65% on the season for Bannock before this tournament. Had his worst performance of the year in the semifinal, and Romanek dominating so far. Possession, the name of the game. Sacred Heart trying to cash in on that extra possession. Good save, Arcuri. And a trip will keep possession with Sacred Heart. Jake Ward tripped up there, battling for the ground ball. Ward feels like he's been everywhere for the Sacred Heart team today.
And it's the little plays, the hustle plays that you're seeing all over the field, winning extra possessions. And that wears on a defense.
Second chance opportunity. Can the Pioneers cash in? John Murray brings that off the pipe.
John Murray and Tim Kiley working in a pair up on this left wing. Kiley, the Dodger, who can really draw pressure.
Kiley has it here. What's up and scores! You can't let 88 get his hands free. Tim Kiley uncorks one and fires Sacred Heart back in front.
The shake and the dodging ability of Tim Kiley has been on display in the settled set, but here it's on the backside. He shows his range from distance. These skip passing lanes, we've seen the Sacred Heart offense go to them early. Off of ball movement, Kiley presents his stick in the passing lane. He's only 5'7", but he plays much bigger, a bigger presence on the offensive end for the Sacred Heart Pioneers.
Pioneers head coach John Basti was telling us there's something about when Tim Kiley scores a goal, who causes a turnover, the whole bench gets fired up. And he provides a big boost here. 10 minutes to go in this first half. Sacred Heart noses in front, 4-3. No look pass, sets up, off the pipe again. We've had 3 pipes in this first half.
And that was Pratt Reynolds getting his hands free. I like that shot, but maybe one more step above goal line extended would give him a better angle.
Reynolds, 50 goals on the season. That is a Siena school record, and a record that has stood since 1979. That's how good Reynolds has been.
What is that, 46 seasons that nobody's touched that record.
Number 20 in green. Wouldn't be surprised if they go back to him on this possession.
They've got to get him more shot opportunities. He's such a great shooter.
Has it here, didn't get his hands free though, well defended. And a save made by Pazienza off terrific defense.
And again, the way to get Pratt Reynolds in better spots to be able to put the ball in the back of the net is doing your job on the perimeter as a Dodger. You've got to break down one of these Sacred Heart defenders.
Dom Bossi, the head coach's son, just a freshman with the clear there, 25 in white, all MAC rookie team. Stays on offense. Broadnax pitches it off.
This offense likes to operate in pairs, setting picks, creating mismatches.
Broadnax, he's got the hottest stick on the field right now. After just 2 goals throughout the regular season, he has 4 in this MAC tournament, including 1 today, 30 in white. Calling for it. Instead, Moulton goes through a triple team. Battle for the ground ball. Stays Sacred Heart's way. It's closest to the ball when it goes out of bounds. So you're going to see everyone diving for it with a championship on the line.
Those diving plays. We talk about the last-ditch effort. You're going to see that a lot today. It's a game of inches. Again, closest to the ball when it goes out of bounds.
That's a great angle of it.
Great angle. So you're seeing the timeliness of when you're going to leave your feet to try to make that effort.
And when you've got 2 teams that are this close together, sometimes it's those plays that can separate, be the difference maker in a championship game.
And both of these coaching staffs, they know that. We talked to them and they focused on the importance of those hustle plays. Maybe you don't win the clamp on the faceoff, but you're fighting to earn possession in another way. Those end line runouts, getting a stick on a shot. All those little things add up throughout the course of a game, especially on a stage like this.
2 teams that come into this championship clash winning 8 in a row in terrific form. They don't want their season to end. Gavioli, that pass behind, looking for Patrick Linton. Sacred Heart swarms to it, in trouble, spinning through a triple team, losing his stick, and Siena wins the ball back.
The immediate pressure over the 50-yard line, collapsing, swarming to get the ball back. The ride, a big point of emphasis. Transition defense for both of these teams to stop fast break opportunities, but also earn extra bonus possessions.
Andrew Rooney, the senior captain in defense, goes to goal. Pazienza got a piece of it. Well, the long pole's not shy in this championship game for Siena.
Both defenses slow to go to that transition pole because of the lethal shooters they have on both offensive ends.
Siena had the backup. They remain on possession, and head coach Liam Gleason takes a timeout. MAC Coach of the Year gives us an opportunity to remind you tomorrow night, live from Bristol, Connecticut, it's the NCAA Lacrosse Selection Special on ESPNU. The men's reveal at 9:30, but before the women's show, 9 Eastern time, we will reveal the field of 29 teams on the women's side. The Hall of Famer, Sheehan Sandware Birch, will join Charlotte and I. The band back together tomorrow.
Cannot wait for that. So much happens today and tomorrow across the men's and women's lacrosse landscape. Some bid stealers, bid thieves looming in these conference championship games.
And one of these 2 teams will hear their name called at the men's show starting at 9:30. Here are Charlotte North's predictions for the women's Final Four. North Carolina, BC, they've been at the top much of this season.
as well as Northwestern. They've clearly identified themselves as in that top 3. Of course, they dropped the regular season games to North Carolina and Boston College, but they won the Big Ten championship. And then Princeton, they are playing in the Ivy championship game against Yale tomorrow. Jay, we talked about the Ivy League this season. Of course, both semifinal games were 1-goal games. There's been so much madness in that conference, but I think if Princeton wins that Ivy title tomorrow,
they'll get a 4 or 5.
There's a chance they will have the 4 or the 5, which means if they're the 4, they host all the way through the quarterfinal round.
And then on the men's side, you've got 2 more Ivies, and then 2 Big Ten schools in Ohio State and Maryland.
And keep your eyes on the Ivy men's championship tomorrow between Cornell and Princeton. Unbelievable talent on both of those rosters. You got C.J. Kirst, the all-time leading goal scorer in the history of the sport. And then the 2 best teams in the Big Ten. I think this may be a year where we don't have an ACC team in the Final Four, but don't sleep on Syracuse. They pulled off a big win against Notre Dame in the ACC semifinal game. They'll play Duke in the ACC title game tomorrow.
This MAC championship, one of 7 automatic bids being handed out today, and then tomorrow the ACC and the Ivy League have their championship games. Pazienza, big save out of the Siena timeout. Alex Pazienza, who was the hero a year ago, 15 save in last year's MAC championship win against Manhattan. And he's been terrific today.
Pazienza uses his frame to deter shooters, take away angles. Right there, he reads Caden Olmstead's lefty outside shot. Just feels like the Saints are struggling to get those high percentage opportunities offensively.
Pazienza's turned into a brick wall of this second quarter. Siena's gone scoreless for 10 minutes and 35 seconds now. It's allowed Sacred Heart to take the lead. Pioneers looking for more. Tim Kiley trying to shake free. Finds Ryan Rooney. Here's the sophomore. Sacred Heart looks very balanced, settled in their offensive set. Calm and comfortable. And as I say that, they turn it over. Mark Cummins, great takeaway. Pick that out of the sky.
You see, stylistically for this Siena defense, they like to support the matchup. So they go, they show the slide early, and then they recover quickly to the backside. But when you have that supportive style of defense, it allows you to make plays like that, take risks on the backside and pick off passes.
You mentioned the Siena scoreless streak, which has now reached more than 11 minutes. They've had their most success in transition. They've struggled in the offensive set.
You see Patrick Radomski inverting. This is something we've seen a lot this season. He can be placed anywhere on the perimeter as a dodger, not just a downhill threat.
6'4", 200 pounds. As a matchup he likes here.
And he's got the short stick. You'd think they'd set him up for success on the perimeter to really attack that matchup.
Travis Fry, great footwork, jump shot, no great angle there, and he sent it high.
Who's going to be the player that cracks through, draws the double team, or owns their matchup and scores to then force the defense to respond in the following possession and double team?
Siena scoreless in this second quarter. Their last goal came with a $1:36 to play in the first. Huffnagel back onto the field for Siena. Weaves through, goes to goal. Pazienza makes a save. He's out of his cage. Pazienza getting tangled up with Siena. Flags all over the field. You rarely see a goalie attack like that.
We talked about it in the open. He comes out of his cage. He likes to act as that 7th defender in a broken play. He'll come out and get physical.
Pazienza makes the save and then storms out of his cage. Take another look at this.
So that's a push in the back. I think from the angle right here, it's clear that he gets him in the back. Yeah, It didn't look like Hufnagel had possession, though.
Let's get the call. So Pazienza has to go to the penalty box. Tough to hear the official over the great crowd that we've got here for the MAC Championship. So Craig Daria, who's only played 16 minutes in goal all season, the new goalkeeper for Sacred Heart, with Pazienza serving the penalty.
And on top of that, they're playing 6-on-4.
So hard to hear over the official, but you see that Pazienza's in as well.
So they called a cross check, and they called that off-ball push on Pazienza. So the Siena offense will go against 4 Sacred Heart defenders.
2 shoves in the back, 1 against Pazienza, 1 against Sacred Heart's defense. And what a moment for Craig Daria. Max Manware serving the penalty, transfer from Jacksonville.
Because you have your starting goalie, an additional defender has to come off to ensure that you are 2 players down, going 6 versus 4, and you got your backup goalkeeper in.
This is, you know, coaches try and say we practice everything. This might not have been rehearsed.
You certainly practice man-up opportunities.
What a moment for Daria. Only 16 minutes played this season. Now he gets a spell in the MAC Championship game with the starting goalie, Pazienza, serving the penalty. Siena, 2 men up. What a moment this is for the Saints to try and swing momentum, and they do! Patrick Radomski cashes in on the 2 men up. And Siena ties it at 4.
Patrick Radomski working the interior off of the ball movement. You see Pratt Reynolds exchanges from inside to outside. Enter Patrick Radomski right in the heart of that 2 men down defense. Catch, turn, and fire before the defense is able to collapse.
Radomski's 2nd of this championship game. All Pazienza could do is watch. He goes back into goal, though, because the penalty is released.
And that's a way to steal momentum.
Absolutely. Ends a near 13-minute scoreless drought for Siena. A shot in the arm for the Saints. All tied up at 4. Pazienza back out onto the field for Sacred Heart. Active in the clear game, has it here.
And another face-off win for Luke Romanek. He's been the steady force throughout the chaos for the Sacred Heart Pioneers.
Now, they're a program that's comfortable playing in the chaos, but a little too much emotion there to cause a 2-men-up penalty for Siena. Mark Curry, Siena's goalie, he's been outstanding in this first half. 7 saves to his name. Mareshi got denied there.
Mareshi likes to use his burst of speed coming out of the box, but that wasn't the best look early in that possession as momentum has shifted the Saints' way.
McCarthy, the extra pass. Pratt Reynolds, his 51st goal of the season, puts Siena back in front, 5-4.
When someone's got to slide off of Pratt Reynolds in transition, look out. Perfectly executed 5-on-4 break, and you got your best goal scorer, hands-free, wide open on the doorstep. The Saints have pushed the pace in transition because they've struggled in the settled set. So that is critical right there if you're a Saints fan to see them capitalize on that break.
MAC Offensive Player of the Year. He set Siena's school record with 51 goals in a season. burst onto the scene, was the Rookie of the Year, now trying to bookend his career with a MAC championship in addition to that Offensive Player of the Year.
6th straight face-off win.
Wow.
For Sacred Heart.
And Siena came in the heavy favorite from the face-off X perspective, at 65% on the year, and it's Sacred Heart that is dominated at the dot. Our first WNBA preseason game featuring Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. They'll take on the Brazilian national team Sunday at Carver Hawkeye Arena, 4 Eastern on ESPN.
Expect that stadium to be rocking for the Indiana Fever. But
no doubt about it.
Another forced turnover by the Sacred Heart Ride.
Oh, we've got a great atmosphere right underneath our broadcast location. Stadium starting to rock here at Sacred Heart. Love that it's a home venue to the top seed, makes that regular season matter.
First time that the Sacred Heart Pioneers have hosted being that top seed. They were the top seed a year ago, but a conditional member of the MAC, so they were not eligible to host.
Well, that was the first MAC title last year for the entire school. Trying to notch their second today. Down a goal. Broadnax lost his footing. And another timeout taken by Sacred Heart. John Bosti with his team trailing by 1, possession so valuable right before halftime.
And I like this decision right here by head coach John Bosti to get your offensive guys in a set with about 90 seconds to go in this half, trying to steal back the momentum, but get a really solid, patient opportunity on offense.
Coming up at halftime, you don't want to miss the cross. Charlotte North, Paul Carcaterra, talking about what it takes to win a national championship. You know what it takes.
It's so difficult. It's the hill that you always look to climb. That's your goal when you get to campus in August. Everyone has their sights set on being the last team standing in May, but it requires strong culture and chemistry that you work on building all year long. And these two teams here today looking to punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament.
And we'll give you a preview of the MAC Women's Championship, which is tomorrow right here on ESPNU at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Iona and Fairfield. Iona with a shock upset against top-seeded Mount St. Mary's. We'll show you those highlights coming up at halftime. Now, the story of this game, Siena has overcome an incredible face-off deficit. Sacred Heart winning the face-off battle 9-2, which is shocking because Logan Bannock, the Fogo for Siena, is one of the best in the country.
And he was 16 of 24 when these two teams met in the regular season. We mentioned that game went to overtime, but he was a big reason why the Saints were able to stay in it.
And yet, Siena leads 5-4, and it's a scoreboard that is all that matters for Liam Gleason and this Saints program, trying to win their first MAC championship since 2014. Sacred Heart with the ball, trailing by a goal, 1:35 remaining in this first half.
And they're going to their Dodger, Tim Kiley, who's got the short stick matchup.
They're playing without their leading goal scorer, Tucker Spencer. They've missed him in this first half, only 4 goals.
You see Jake Ward, number 3 in white, operating on the inside, reading where the defense is sliding.
Ward has it here, swings it quickly to John Murray. 15 seconds to shoot. Murray in attack mode, goes to goal. Great save, Arcuri. This will reset the shot clock.
Such a good subtle hesitation by John Murray that releases the slide, so then he's got a true one-on-one again in a re-dodge. But a little bit too much, too far on that shot.
Now the shot clock did not reset. I thought Arcuri got a piece of it.
It looked like low and away that he did. Near that right pipe as he reached for it.
And Basti, head coach for Sacred Heart, livid over on the Pioneers sideline because now Siena's got the ball with a goal advantage. John Basti thinks the shot clock should have been reset, and I can't blame him.
I agree with you. I thought certainly our Curry got a piece of that. And they cannot review this.
No, it's not a goal-scoring play.
Or a penalty.
And it's not a penalty.
The referees can review in the final 4 minutes of the game, but the coaches cannot challenge that and get a review.
So Siena ball leading by a goal, 40 seconds remaining in the first half. And Siena turns it over, the one thing the Saints couldn't afford to do. Sacred Heart with a chance to tie ahead of halftime. That rings off the pipe, inches away from a game-tying goal. Another opportunity, deflected, and a foul call. The flag is thrown, and Sacred Heart will move to the man up with 20 seconds remaining in this first half.
This looks like it's going to be a late hit.
I'd say a chaotic sequence to finish this first half, but it's really been this first half has just been one big chaotic sequence.
It has. It's been who's going to dictate the pace of play. It's the turnovers in the midfield, but take a look at this here. Yep, a late and high hit by Liam Lennon, the junior for Siena.
1 minute, full time, review.
So will once again be reviewed because it was a check to the head.
So right now as it stands, this is 1 minute. That would be indirect contact with the head and neck area.
So they can elevate this to 2 minutes like we saw earlier in this first half if they thought it was direct contact, not indirect contact. And it is unreleasable, which means no matter what, this penalty is being carried over to the third quarter.
Yep, you see right there. That late contact, Sacred Heart loses possession of the ball, and that's right when Liam Lennon slides.
And again, this all could have been prevented by Liam Gleason's team if they don't turn that ball over in the midfield. The shot clock was off. All they needed to do was hold on to possession. They'd have a 5-4 lead going into halftime. Instead, an errant pass and a costly turnover. The officials are done with the video review.
1 minute, full time, locked in, reset 60.
1 minute full time, so it'll carry over to the third quarter.
And Jay, you mentioned the turnovers when these two teams met in the regular season. Siena struggled. They had 17 turnovers. They've got 7 already today.
And Sacred Heart happy to take this man-up penalty to the third quarter. John Murray winding down this clock.
Hold it, Murray, no passes.
You see the bench saying, hold it, Murray, no passes, and that's exactly what he does. So there will be no face-off to start the second half. It'll be Sacred Heart ball with 39 seconds remaining on the man-up. And it's Siena that takes the halftime lead, 5-4.
That's a lot of time, Jay, to start the second half. Now you go into the locker room, you have a chance to talk it over. But if you're the Siena Saints, your goalkeeper, Andrew Arcuri, is doing everything that he should and can to give that offense more possessions. But it's a game of inches, and it's who can settle down and handle the chaos in the midfield.
And there has been plenty of chaos in this first half. Only 9 goals. 5 belong to Siena, 4 to Sacred Heart. The Pioneers trailing by a goal, but they're man up to start the second half. Let's hear from their head coach, John Bossi. Coach,
up, guys?
Chaotic first half. You're down a goal, but you're a man up going to the second half. What needs to change in this game for you guys to come out with the victory?
I think we just got to shoot a little better. I mean, you look at the goals that they scored, 2-man up, a couple of transition. We just got to clean some things up here. But I'm really confident in what we're doing. I really don't. It's about how we process the next couple minutes here and get ready for this next 30 minutes. And I think, like I said, if we just shoot a little bit better, I think we're in a way better situation right now. But it is what it is. I knew this game was going to be like this. We are even in every category. We're 2 teams, a 1 and 2 teams in the conference. 2 very good teams, 2 very good coaching staffs. Both are very prepared. So nothing that's happened here has surprised me.
Well, we've enjoyed it so far. Go talk to your team, and we can't wait to watch the second half unfold.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your game.
Thank you, John Basti, trying to go back-to-back in the MAC. His team, Sacred Heart, trailing by a goal. The Cross, Paul Carcaterra, Charlotte North, coming up next. Halftime here at the MAC Men's Championship game. There's lots of conference tournaments going on. Automatic bids being awarded out on both the men's and the women's side. The MAC women's semifinals were crazy yesterday. The top seed, Mount St. Mary's, on upset alert. How about the Iona Gales, the number 4 seed, led by Welcome back. Halftime here at Sacred Heart in Fairfield, Connecticut. This week on Welcome back. Halftime here at Sacred Heart in Fairfield, Connecticut. This week on The Cross, Paul Carcaterra and our very own Charlotte North talking about how hard it is to win back-to-back.
Winning a championship is like
Here at the MAC Men's Championship game, you know, there's lots of conference tournaments going on. Automatic bids being awarded out on both the men's and the women's side. The MAC women's semifinals were crazy yesterday. The top seed, Mount St. Mary's, on upset. Halftime here at the MAC Men's Championship game. You know, there's lots of conference tournaments going on. Automatic bids being awarded out on both the men's and the women's side. The MAC women's semifinals were crazy yesterday. The top seed, Mount St. Mary's, on upset alert. How about the Iona Gales, the number 4 seed, led by Kyra Verada, the star of the game. 5 goals, including that game winner, 7 ground balls as well. Iona moving on to their first ever MAC championship game where they will take on Fairfield, the perennial power in the MAC. On the women's side, Amanda Kozak, 5 goals for the Stags. They are going to their 8th straight MAC championship game, and you can watch that game tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern on ESPNU.
What a moment for the Iona women's lacrosse program. Their first time ever making an appearance in the MAC championship game, beating Mount St. Mary's. Fairfield, though, looking to reclaim the MAC title. They lost it a year ago to Niagara. They still got an at-large bid into the tournament, but this season, that would not be the case potentially. So they're looking to take that automatic qualifier.
And we're expecting a great second half. Back on the men's side, who's going to win the MAC Men's Championship? Siena or Sacred Heart? Will have the second half when we come back. One of 7 automatic bids to the NCAA tournament being handed out today. The MAC championship on the line as we are set to start this second half. Siena with a nose in front 5-4 lead alongside Charlotte North. Jay Alter with you. You know, we expected a close competitive game. I think the surprising part is how we're getting to this 1-goal halftime lead for Siena. You would have thought they would have dominated the face-off. Instead, it was Sacred Heart who dominated.
Logan Bannock, 6th nationally in face-off percentage, but the Siena Saints, they've only won 2 face-offs in this matchup, but they're up by a goal.
Yeah, you take a look at the face-off battle, and they've made Bannock a little uncomfortable.
And it's been the scrapping for the 50-50 balls. It feels like the Sacred Heart team is swarming in numbers to win extra possessions. And it's been the way that they can crack the Siena defense, making them shift and move. And it's been Jake Ward for that, but then things got a little chippy.
This is the turning point in the second quarter. Pazienza, the goalkeeper, pulled out of this game for a penalty. Siena cashes in. The momentum shifted, and the Saints a 1-goal lead at the half.
They had that man-up goal. Then they started to push the pace in transition as they haven't had success in the settled set. You take a look at the shots. They're pretty even. And this was not the case when these two teams met in the first regular season matchup. Siena only took 36 to Sacred Heart's 52 shots.
And let's hear from Siena head coach Liam Gleason. You hear us talking about it, Coach. Face-off X has gone Sacred Heart's way, and yet you lead by a goal. How did you overcome the possession discrepancy in that first half?
You know, I just think the guys were opportunistic at times. You know, I think the face-off X, I think we're competing well, and unfortunately, we've had, you know, some missed bounces that went their way. And our guys, you know, they know they're going to get their opportunities, and you know, when that ball gets in a Ryan McCarthy stick, I know he's going to be able to find 20 just like we had on the last one. But you know, it just stay in the course. You know, we're up 1, but now it's a new quarter. Time to go again.
Now, Ryan McCarthy, Pratt Reynolds, terrific in that first half. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Liam Gleason trying to win Siena's first MAC championship in 11 years. Sacred Heart trying to go back-to-back in the MAC. And we are in for a treat. This second half, we've told you since the beginning of the game, we expect a close and competitive game. Not much to separate these two teams with a championship on the line.
Both teams so desperately want to extend their season, to live, to fight another day. Both coaches talk about how important it is to these guys to get another opportunity to practice together. For Sacred Heart, they haven't lost on this field since February 4th of 2024.
And remember, there's no face-off to start this second half. Sacred Heart finished the first half man up, so they start with an extra man on the field. Siena serving the penalty as we are underway in this second half. Pioneers with the ball, trailing by a goal, man up. So a good opportunity to tie it. Arcuri! Oh, how good has Andrew Arcuri been in this championship game? 9 saves. Picks up right where he left off in the first half to deny a man-up goal for Sacred Heart.
That's huge, and he's certainly done his job.
And Siena goes to goal short-handed, rings it off the pipe. And Sacred Heart wins the run-out with Alex Pazienza, their active goalie.
Getting a shot opportunity like that for Pratt Reynolds, and your man down in a situation like that, but another turnover in the midfield.
But we were generous in the first half. We called it chaotic, but I think you call it what it is. It's been sloppy in the midfield for both of these teams. Nerves certainly playing a factor in this championship game. Gives the ball right back to Siena.
And it's going to be about the team who can settle down.
Given goal, and Travis Fry lets it rip. Blows it past Pazienza. And Travis Fry, the lefty sharpshooter, puts Siena up by 2.
When you're not winning your matchups in the settled set, you look to push the tempo. And right here, it's just a simple give and go to free up Travis Fry. This is where he likes to release from, the low to high, setting your feet from distance. He loves to initiate behind at X, has such a burst of speed. But when his hands are free, he has the ability to change levels and put a ton of heat on his shot.
27th goal of the season, biggest of the bunch. Siena coming off the Pazienza penalty, which led to a man-up goal on a 3-0 surge to go in front by 2. It's the first time today either team has led by more than a single goal. And it's Siena with all the momentum at the start of this third quarter. Two teams just in great form, 8-game winning streaks apiece. Siena's last loss was on this field in overtime to Sacred Heart. Looking for revenge and to keep their season alive. A trip to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2014.
This right here is a matchup that Radomski can win.
He's a matchup nightmare at 6'4", 200 pounds. Passes out of it. They go inside. Cavioli lost it. Sacred Heart's going to come back and win this game. Causing turnovers certainly has to be a big piece of the recipe.
This has been the bright spot today for the Sacred Heart team. It's their settled defense. They're 5th nationally in scoring defense. They lead the conference in caused turnovers per game. They're so good in their one-on-one.
Pazienza, the goalie, behind the back.
What?
Way out of his cage. He's looking like Blaze Reardon.
Yeah, I was going to say, a little flashback. Thought we were going to get a goalie goal.
Instead, he goes behind the back, and now Sacred Heart settles things down. I wish I had half the confidence in life that Alex Pazienza does. He is quite comfortable out of his cage.
Comfortable on this stage as well. The tournament MVP a year ago when Sacred Heart won the MAC title.
Well, that was for his 15 saves, not so much his assisting. Good look here. Between two. What a save! Andrew Arcuri to the rescue to deny Murray from point-blank range. 10th save today, and that's the best of the bunch for Arcuri.
And guess who? The Ride getting it back for Sacred Heart. This is going to be an offsides call.
Gives the ball right back to Siena. That's a big momentum shift.
An unfortunate mental error. But how about Andrew Arcuri?
Wow.
We're seeing a lot of flair in the second half already. The behind-the-back attempt at the assist in transition by Pazienza. The toe drag by John Murray to get to point-blank range. But it's been goalkeeper Andrew Arcuri.
Well, if Siena holds on to this lead, we might have a back-to-back MVP that belongs to a goalkeeper in the MAC a year ago. It was Pazienza on this stage. Arcuri right now, the hero for the Saints. Will Adell backs it out, very patient in possession. Plenty of time on the shot clock, 50 seconds left on it.
And again, who is going to be the player that cracks through and really dominates their matchup?
Right on cue, on the run, Pratt Reynolds delivers. The Siena school record for goals in the season adds another tally, and Reynolds gives the Saints a 3-goal advantage.
Arcuri is fueling this Siena offense. Another high-to-high save. And who else but Pratt Reynolds? We talk about his spot shooting ability, but where he has evolved is right here as a dodging threat. Recognizes he's got the short stick matchup, uses his body a little bit to get his hands free, leans into the pressure, backs off it, down the run on the alley. And I love what his head coach says about him. There is nobody that he's coached who he's seen shoot more, put in more time outside of practice to get reps in. And he's broken that single season program record for goals because of that.
Well, showing up on the championship stage, Siena with a 4-0 run since Sacred Heart had the double penalty with their goalkeeper Pazienza coming out of this game. That's when the momentum shifted in this championship clash. Siena now leading by 3. You know, Pratt Reynolds, some people say just a catch and shoot guy. He shows that he's got more to his game with that last goal.
And here's the matchup again.
They go right back to Reynolds. Why not? Passes out of the double team. Too much on it. Falls to McCarthy. Sends it right back in. Radomski couldn't control it. Double team. Ball still loose. And Radomski, the big hit to pry it free again and keep possession with Siena. Siena playing with a little extra edge right now. Reynolds denied on the doorstep.
And that's where Reynolds likes to get his hands free, using his burst of speed in those off-ball scenarios. Pazienza reads that one. No change of levels there.
Feels like a massive moment in this championship game for Sacred Heart. Siena with all the momentum right now. 4-0 run. Can they ignite their offense and chip into this 3-goal lead? What a save! Arcuri again, his 11th. And And Siena can move in transition here. The Saints have numbers. 2 dangerous long poles. We've seen Valenza already score in this championship game. A bouncer, and it's a goal! Make it 8 for Siena. Brandon Blank, the sophomore from New Rochelle. And the Saints are doubling up, top-seeded Sacred Heart in the championship.
Andrew Arcuri. What more can we say? Reading them from all angles. We talk about the importance of the 50-50 ball and how this Siena offense has feasted in transition. And it's Brandon Blank with the backside cut slicing through that transition defense.
4th assist of the championship for Ryan McCarthy. The Saints quarterback has that incredible ability to always pick the right pass.
And we talk about the fact that the Siena offense likes to operate when a double team goes, and they haven't been successful doing that in the settled offensive set, so they've elected to push the pace in transition. I thought maybe that they might hold on to that one, settle things down, but they know their best opportunities offensively are coming off of the fast break and the secondary break. And when you get the ball to your feeder, you've got to have layered cuts, and that's what Blank did right there.
How good has Siena been in transition?
It's been the difference maker for them, recognizing where they're able to beat the Sacred Heart defense, and it has not been in the 6-on-6.
And it's allowed their defense to settle in. The Saints defensively really holding Sacred Heart at bay in these settled situations. A reversal of what we saw in that first quarter.
And much different for the Siena defense. They will support the matchup and go early. They like to send a slide and then allow themselves time and space to recover. So much different than what we're seeing on the other end of the field.
Pioneers desperate for a goal. John Murray recovers it. Under 30 seconds on the shot clock. 8 minutes to play in this third quarter. Sacred Heart trailing by 4. The spot to the NCAA tournament on the line. Mareshi, no angle. Siena so dialed in defensively, so connected right now. Arcuri's been a brick wall. Didn't need the save there. 8 seconds left on the shot clock.
That's the look that you want. Jake Ward, Ryan Rooney working in tandem on the backside, but it's John Murray who did the work, got the defense to spin.
Ward jump shot straight into the stick of Andrew Arcuri. 12th save of this championship.
Desperation shot there as the shot clock was winding down. Not the position you want to be in.
The Saints quarterback, Ryan McCarthy, signaling slow things down. 4-goal lead, you can afford to do that.
We talked about it early in this game. One of the keys for the Siena team was going to be able to have lengthy, patient possessions on offense to wear down the defense, especially with the pace that this game has.
Opportunity in transition here for Sacred Heart. They've got numbers. Will Moulton scores! Sacred Heart finally finds the back of the net. Moulton in transition, the Birmingham, Alabama native. It's a long scoreless drought for Sacred Heart. First goal in nearly 19 minutes for the Pioneers.
The backbone for the Pioneers today has been living in the chaos, creating turnovers in the ride, triggering transition, uneven numbers, and it's Moulton who brings the team within 3. Siena is up in the MAC championship.
The MAC championship game, Siena 8, Sacred Heart 5. The Pioneers hosting in Fairfield, Connecticut, but it's Siena with an 8-5 lead midway through this third quarter. You know, Sacred Heart scored the last goal. It ended a scoreless streak that stretched back to the 10:09 mark in the second quarter. So that's nearly 19 minutes without a goal, and that's allowed Siena to grab momentum in this game.
The face-off stat is a little misleading because Siena's only won 3 out of the 12, but it feels like Siena's had possession for a majority of this half. It's a big face-off coming up for the Sacred Heart Pioneers. They've had success here, but they haven't had a lot of long possessions on offense and ability to create high percentage opportunities.
Well, before the game, you said Siena was going to lose the face-off battle. You'd think Sacred Heart would be leading. Instead, it's the Saints up by 3. Long battle at the face-off X here between Romanek and Banik. A whistle gives the ball to Siena.
If he goes to do a butt encounter, how can he land on it and hold so?
Still a lot of time in this championship game, but it's worth noting it's been relatively low scoring. So Sacred Heart only has 5 goals this entire game. They're going to have to find 3. And offense has been a struggle at time for this Pioneers team in this championship, playing without their leading goal scorer, Tucker Spencer.
They're going to have to rely on their dodging threats. John Murray, Michael Moreshi, Tim Kiley, but their defense has been asked to do a lot today.
Patrick Radomski taking his time. Goes into attack mode with 30 seconds left on the shot clock. And if you're Siena, you've got a 3-goal lead, but you don't want to be too conservative in terms of wasting time. You still want to be aggressive. Hufnagel denied. Reattacks here, trying to spin his way free. Loses the ball. Pazienza has it. He loses his stick, and a whistle blows play dead. Pazienza saying that hit was up near his helmet. And ball is awarded back to Siena. Alex Pazienza, the Sacred Heart goalkeeper, can't believe it. He's saying he was the one who was hit. Alex Pazienza has been the center of a lot of controversy in this championship game. He was called for a penalty, which took him out of this game in the first half. It changed momentum in this matchup.
66 white. I'll explain to you in a second. Please go to the pylon. I'll be there in 1 second. The foul is on sportsmanlike conduct on the white bench. It's going to be served by the in-home, number 66. It's a 1-minute full-time foul.
So that's the second penalty today called against Quinton Pellegrino. Let's take another look at, we sound like a broken record, another chaotic sequence here in the MAC championship game.
Unbelievable short stick defensive play by Luke Catalico. But
where does Pellegrino come in? I didn't see him do anything.
It was called on sportsmanlike conduct.
So they said it was against the Sacred Heart bench. He said 66.
Yes, as the in-home player to serve the penalty, but that's Ryan Rooney in the box.
So Siena goes to the man up, leading by 3. The Saints have been excellent on man up so far today. 2 goals to show for it.
And you got shooters like Radomski and Reynolds.
This is going to stay Siena's way. They say Jack Ramsey got a piece of that ball. I don't think he did.
In disbelief, Sacred Heart doesn't feel like they touched that ball.
So Siena reloads and scores! Pratt Reynolds! A hat trick for Pratt Reynolds, his 9th hat trick of the season, puts Siena up by 4.
Take a look at the perimeter pass that the referee said was tipped. Oh, it looked like it was tipped right there.
Good call.
By Jack Ramsey. That gave the Siena Saints man-up unit another opportunity, and you got the best shooter in the MAC on the inside of that defense. You got to be on high alert when 20 in green flashes to the ball. Such a smooth shooting stroke. Catch, release, right on the interior. Radomski and Reynolds have been so efficient on the man-up opportunities today.
Back to even strength, 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Sacred Heart trailing by 4 with possession.
This feels like a critical possession for them offensively.
Caden Broadnax, who was terrific in the semifinal with 3 goals, only 1 today, has it here. Passes off, and it's intercepted again. Siena's defense is taking control of this championship game. And even though they've been very dangerous in transition, electing to slow things down, leading by 4 goals.
Those are the turnovers you can't afford. They aren't on a scoring opportunity. It's not a risk. It's a perimeter pass. Getting the stick in the passing lane. And giving this offense another chance. Feels like this Sacred Heart defense has played a lot of minutes in this game.
Particularly in this third quarter where it has felt like one-way traffic at times. Siena a 4-goal lead with possession. As we remind you, the NHL postseason Game 7 tonight. The Avalanche in Dallas to take on the Stars. Win or go home, 8 Eastern on ABC. Shot clock ticks down to 20. Ryan McCarthy, 5 assists to his name today. Over and back. So Sacred Heart possession. They need a spark here at the end of the third quarter, trailing by 4. Who can provide it?
Well, it's been John Murray who's been able to win his matchup, draw the slide, and then dish.
Murray has it here. Jake Ward been very quiet, scored the first 2 goals of the game for Sacred Heart, been shut out since. Will Moulton trying to shake free on the run. Perfectly placed. What a goal. Will Moulton. The junior couldn't have placed it any better and pulls a goal back for Sacred Heart.
Will Moulton uses his size and his speed to his advantage, gets into the body of his defender, recognizes the defense is not ready to go to him, and he says he'll make them pay. He does it himself. We've seen Moulton be a factor in transition on that left wing. But when the other matchups have not been favorable on the perimeter, Moulton takes his man to the rack.
Siena, another face-off win in this third quarter. They have dominated the face-off X since halftime. They've won 4 in a row. After Sacred Heart had been the dominant team from the X in the first half, Siena has responded. A 3-goal lead for the Saints, searching for their first MAC championship since 2014. It's been a long 11 years.
The reason the Sacred Heart defense has had success today in the settled set is because they're slow to go, slow to slide. They trust their 1v1 defense.
Those have to be some tired legs, though. Played in the semifinal on Thursday. They played a lot of defense in this third quarter. Win possession here, though. You never know by looking at the way they're playing that those legs might be tired.
So much of this team's identity has been the defense standing tall. Now it's going to be about, can they capitalize on all these possessions that their defense is giving them?
No doubt they have missed Tucker Spencer, their leading goal scorer, who scored 6 goals in the MAC championship title game a year ago. But Sacred Heart beat Manhattan. Went down with an injury in early April and has not come back. Looking for a spark. Michael Mareschi. 30 seconds left to the third quarter. Mareschi again in attack mode. No angle though. "15 seconds to work with." Jake Ward been quiet in the second half. Gets it here. Almost loses his footing. Spins, passes. A goal! With 3.5 seconds left at the end of the third quarter, Tim Kiley makes it a 2-goal game.
This is how you wear a defense down with patience. It's Jake Ward, who you see operate behind the goal a lot. He's got the vision. He inverts. He comes up top. He draws the eyes of the defense, and he dishes to the interior. Tim Kiley. You saw the Sacred Heart offense remain incredibly patient. They weren't garnering the slide, drawing 2, and opening up the middle. But they did it at the end of the shot clock when it mattered most.
So what was once a 4-goal lead for Siena has been cut in half right at the end of the third quarter. John Bosti's team battling against the Siena Saints, looking for their first MAC championship in 11 years. Siena taking a 2-goal lead to the fourth quarter. You do not want to miss the final 15 minutes of this one.
The MAC Men's Lacrosse Championship is brought to you by Bally's Atlantic City, the official fan hotel of the MAC. The MAC Men's Lacrosse Championship is brought to you by Bally's Atlantic City, the official fan hotel of the MAC.
Crown a champion. Beautiful weather at Fairfield, Connecticut as we begin this fourth quarter. The MAC, one of 7 conferences awarding an automatic bid today to the NCAA tournament. It's the top 2 seeds. At Siena, a 9-7 lead as we begin this fourth quarter. Charlotte North, Jay Alter with you. Sacred Heart had lost momentum in that third quarter. Siena had a 4-goal lead, but the Pioneers have scored 3 of the last 4 goals to make it a 2-goal game headed into the fourth.
And this is what we expected. Coming down to the wire, every possession is going to matter. And this is an area that the Pioneers have had success today. Unexpected success almost.
Nothing.
Logan Bannock, number 6 in the nation in face-off percentage. There's a flag down. So this is a free possession for Sacred Heart after the face-off win. No doubt, Charlotte, that has been a surprise for the Pioneers today.
For the viewers back home,
A lot of people saying this doesn't go anywhere. For those lucky enough to listen.
Let's go, Saints.
Sacred Heart has diarrhea.
And now we'll get our penalty. So Sacred Heart to the man up, trailing by 2 at the beginning of this fourth quarter.
A lot of people saying Sacred Heart has diarrhea.
Okay, we apologize for our crowd mic.
Late contact right there, late hit. That's what will be awarded a penalty. You're trying to create, oh, and contact there. You're trying to create a cause turnover after losing the face-off battle, but you got to stay clean as momentum has started to shift in Sacred Heart's favor.
Three of the last 4 goals to close the third quarter. Dispossessed from behind, Joe Valenza poked it away.
John Murray had the pass fake.
Right,
he had the lane, but he didn't protect his stick. Unbelievable trail check.
Right as Murray was ready to load up, a huge cause turnover, and now Siena can kill the Sacred Heart man up.
We've seen Joe Valenza's impact on this game in transition, but also making plays like that on the perimeter.
Take another look at this trail check.
He's been all over for this defense and in transition. He has an ability to throw 40, 50-yard passes on a rope. We saw it in the semifinal win versus Marist. He just triggers transition with such elite passing from a long stick midfield position.
Radomski. Now back to even strength. Plenty of time on the shot clock. 15 seconds left on it. Radomski down the right alley. They've been quick to slide to him. Gets it back. 8 seconds to shoot. Huffnagel on the run. Scores! Connor Huffnagel! Fire Siena up 3. And Sacred Heart's been Huffnageled in this fourth quarter.
Huffnagel was a party starter versus Marist. Has some serious shake. He soaks the pressure there. Cans it on the run. He's the lefty with range. But when the defense isn't ready to slide, you gotta hit the gas and you gotta earn the space, earn the real estate in the middle of the field so you can get a clean shot off before the defense can get on your hands. They were not ready to go to Huffnagel.
What a battle this is with a championship on the line in the fourth quarter. Sacred Heart wins it. It's those hustle plays, those winning plays that we continue to highlight.
And Jay, every time it feels like momentum shifts, Siena steals it right back, killing the penalty, going down and having a patient, very explosive end of that settled set on offense that resulted in a goal.
Big swing of momentum. Siena back up by 3. Dom Basti trying to answer there. That whizzes wide. Sacred Heart had the backup. They'll reload offensively, trailing by 3. Broadnax right back to Basti. Trying to spin his way free. Inches away from a goal there. He's got 2 clean looks on this possession.
Basti's been able to shake his man. But this is a matchup they haven't gone to a lot. They've gone to Caden Broadnax a lot in those pairs on the wings. Broadnax right here, number 30 in white.
Jake Ward, 20 seconds to shoot. Back to Basti, the coach's son. Dumps it inside. Will Moulton lost control of it. Siena trying to dig it out. Instead, Sacred Heart gets it back. 8 seconds on the shot clock. It did not reset. James Moran through traffic, and our Curry, another stop.
Subtle hesitation move as the shot clock was winding down. That that was the look, but it's that last second of focus to try to finish on the doorstep. Can't not change levels like that when you're going against a goalkeeper like Andrew Arcuri.
But John Bossy telling us at halftime his team needed to shoot better in the second half. You got the right look here.
You did.
Just couldn't finish it.
Subtle hesitation to get underneath, but that's where you got to add deception. You're not going to beat a stellar goalkeeper like Arcuri.
He's been an eraser for Siena. 13 saves in this championship game. Saints with the ball at a 3-goal advantage. Patrick Linton down the right alley, shoved aside. Give and go here. Linton curling around the cage, nothing there. Now Caden Olmstead sweeps around.
If you like 1v1 defense and footwork, watch this Sacred Heart defensive unit. They stay in front of their matchup so well and then close the gap to not allow for those high percentage opportunities.
Well, the defense stands tall once again. They've done their part, but not generating enough balls in the back of the net on the other side. And now time does become a factor when you're trailing by 3, 9:30 remaining. Flag comes out.
Offsides.
So a delayed man up coming for Sacred Heart. Freebie possession here for the Pioneers. Another flag comes out, so 2 penalties pending against Siena.
You get a free play here. That one will be called for the slash.
Ward, no angle, finds Murray. Tried to squeeze it in there to Ryan Rooney, and now we get to hear the 2 penalties.
Green 37, slash, 1 minute. Green 11, offsides, 30 seconds. Reset the shot clock to 60.
So the shot clock resets. Here comes the offsides here. That's on Connor Huffnagel. So that's a 30-second. And then the second penalty on the perimeter, the slash. So the Sacred Heart offense will be 2 men up for 30 seconds. And have an additional 30 seconds as just a man up.
Remember, in the second quarter, this is when momentum swung. Siena went 2 men up, cashed in, and has not looked back. They've led ever since.
This is a Sacred Heart offensive unit that struggled in their man-up efficiency. They're the 4th worst in the nation in converting in situations like this.
Now their backs are against the wall here, needing to convert, man up, trailing by 3. Actually 2 men up for another 5 seconds. You at least have to generate a shot, right?
You got to continue to zip the ball in and out of these players' sticks on the perimeter and keep exchanging. A lot of people just standing and watching.
They feed it in tight. Arcuri got a piece of it, but couldn't keep it out. Just enough on it to cash in. Matt Pepe, the New Jersey native, cashes in on the man up, and it's a 2-goal game in the MAC championship.
Matt Pepe reading the inside here. It's Jake Ward surveying, but Pepe staying patient. He's such a two-handed scorer that he presents such a nice target on the inside. That's such a difficult angle to finish with. 2 men on his backside. He soaks it, he brings his stick to the interior, increases his angle.
Just his 3rd goal of the season. It comes at a clutch time for Sacred Heart. 2-goal game, 8:26 remaining. Bannock, the first team All-MAC Fogo, huge face-off win. Nearly turns it over. Another battle for the ground ball. And Siena recovers it. Good save by this Saints rope unit.
We've talked about Sacred Heart's ability to dominate at the face-off X today. Vanek has been held in check, but he knows that the most important face-off is the next one, right here in this fourth quarter, with the conference title on the line.
As we tick near midway through this fourth quarter, Siena with possession and a 2-goal lead. Looking for their first MAC championship in 11 years. Travis Fry, plenty of speed. Siena has been super patient in this second half. They've had a lead throughout it. Trying to go back up top, and it's intercepted. Mason Mack, the sophomore short stick, taken off. Almost a transition goal there for Jake Ward. It whizzes wide. His teammates had the backup.
If that would have gone in, I think the roof of this place would have erupted.
Great crowd on hand. Beautiful day here in Fairfield, Connecticut. The MAC championship, one of 7 automatic bids being handed out today. Great save, Andrew Arcuri. His 14th of this championship game.
It's been Moulton, Will Moulton, number 60 on the offensive end, the lefty, the big lefty attacker, who's been taking a lot of the dodging on the perimeter. He's had success in the second half. They're going to him a lot, but not the best look there.
Do you think Siena's been a little too patient on the offensive end? I know they've got the lead and they're trying to tick this time down, but they've been better when they work quickly, I feel like.
Exactly. That's where they've struggled this game, is right here in the settled set. When they push pace, they're able to generate more scoring opportunities. But credit to the Sacred Heart defense. They've done their job in terms of containing their matchups. But Siena, they've got to continue to attack 1v1. Force the defense to rotate.
Huffnagel, 2 goals today. He's got Sacred Heart hung up behind the cage. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Huffnagel surveys. Now goes goal line extended. Shot clock ticks down to 10. Siena has to hurry here. And even though Siena has the backup, just 3 seconds left on the shot clock.
And that was Patrick Radomski, a matchup that you feel like the Sacred Heart defense would slide to, but they contain him to the outside and force a low-angle shot that goes wide.
So Sacred Heart delivers defensively again. We've been a broken record in this fourth quarter. The defense has done their job, but they continue to struggle on the offensive end, and now time is against them. Under 5 minutes and 30 seconds to go, trailing by 2. The Pioneers trying to go back-to-back in the MAC, but they need to rescue 2 goals here in the final 5 minutes and change just to tie it. Broadnax couldn't control it. 3 Siena jerseys swarming the ball, now 4. Who's going to dig out this ground ball with a MAC championship on the line?
Got to be careful here, close to an over and back.
Yes, and James Moran's left foot did step across that 50-yard line. A costly turnover awards the ball to Siena.
Good job, Jake.
We saw Dom Bosti coming out, drawing the double team, getting past his defender, throwing back against the grain to Caden Broadnax, but couldn't handle the pass. And it's a costly turnover.
Formula One racing rolls on tomorrow. The 4th annual Miami Grand Prix coverage starts 2:30 Eastern. And then the race begins 4 Eastern time on ABC and ESPN+. Caden Olmstead. Dangerous lefty. Siena focused on taking time off this clock. So we tick near 4 minutes remaining in regulation. Siena's waited 11 years to claim a MAC championship. What's another 4 minutes for these Saints? Trying to close out the title game. Now they unlocked Pratt Reynolds. He was gearing, ready to rip that. And a late shove.
They're going to call that a push in the back.
And it's Quinton Pellegrino who's been in the center of a lot of these heated exchanges.
Through the push, 30 seconds, reset the shot clock to 60.
Push with possession, 30-second penalty right here. You're closing in on a turnover, a caused turnover, but that contact right at the end.
So Siena man up, leading by 2 goals. Do you go to goal here, or do you kill another 30 seconds?
I think you got to use the entire 30 seconds, but you still got to generate a high percentage look.
Try and feed it inside.
And that's an opportunity that doesn't come early in that man-up opportunity. It comes off of the ball movement, forcing the defense to work. Defense didn't have to do that much there.
And Sacred Heart can kill this man up and still have plenty of time at even strength here. They give the ball away. Costly turnovers for Sacred Heart in this 4th quarter. Gives the ball right back to Siena. 13th turnover today for Sacred Heart.
And that one might be the most costly of them all. Being able to kill that penalty was huge, but you don't give your offense a chance to get one back. And now the Saints.
And there's a flag thrown off ball.
Yep. So they'll have a free possession here.
And the more time they can take away Siena before they go on to the penalty, the better.
And you can see Sacred Heart defense is already starting to pressure out. Goalkeeper Alex Pazienza comes out operating as the 7th defender, and they're going to trap on ball here.
Pratt Reynolds on an empty net, scores to put Siena up 3. Today for Pratt Reynolds. And they're 2 minutes and 37 seconds away from their first MAC championship in 11 years. Pazienza, the goalie, getting aggressive, and Reynolds makes him pay. Siena up by 3, 2:37 remaining in this MAC title game. Ten automatic bids being handed out, 7 of them today, and Siena just 2 minutes and 37 seconds away from adding their name to those automatic qualifiers headed to the NCAA tournament. The men's selection show tomorrow, 9:30 Eastern time on ESPNU. The women's selection show a half hour before at 9 Eastern. And the Siena faithful that have made the trip to Fairfield, Connecticut, they are 2 minutes and 37 seconds away from their first MAC crown in 11 years.
This is a senior class that is itching to bring the title back to Siena. They've felt so much heartbreak losing in the semifinals in 22, losing in the championship in 23, and a year ago losing in the semifinals. Haven't been able to break through. Is today their day?
Sacred Heart with their backs against the wall. They need to score on this possession to stay alive in this game, trailing by 3. Great save! Arcuri, his 15th of the day, denies the bouncer. They've waited 11 years. What's another 2 minutes? The empty net, and it's another Saints goal! Pratt Reynolds again! Back-to-back empty netters for Reynolds.
And with that goal, Pratt Reynolds off the quick clear from Andrew Arcuri. The full field pass to your goal scorer, Pratt Reynolds. He feels it. And so does their bench.
A storybook season for Reynolds, who burst onto the scene as the MAC Rookie of the Year. Now in his senior year, MAC Offensive Player of the Year, set the Siena School record for goals in a season, and now is about to put his hands on the MAC trophy for the first time in 11 years, bringing Siena back to the mountaintop of the MAC.
And he's now tied the all-time scoring record for this Siena Saints program.
That's probably why he's scoring on those empty netters. A 4-goal cushion. Siena, who survived the thriller against Marist in the semifinal, handled their business today. Goal is still open, and Pazienza scoops up the ground ball.
And that's the risk that this Sacred Heart team is willing to take on defense. All-out pressure on ball, double team, have your goalkeeper come out and play. And at the rate they're winning face-offs, they're not out of this.
Murray, way too much on that one. And it was Sacred Heart's shooting that let them down in this championship game, Charlotte.
Absolutely, and it was Andrew Arcuri who had the answer. Goalkeeper for the Siena Saints has been absolutely unbreakable on the biggest of stages.
15 saves, which is what Pazienza had a year ago when Sacred Heart won the 2024 MAC championship. They had their hopes set on a back-to-back championship, but Siena has had other ideas since that second quarter when they went 2 men up and cashed in on the penalty. Siena has not looked back. A dominant championship performance, 13 seconds away. It has been a long wait for this Siena program. Their last MAC championship coming in 2014. 11 years later, Siena, MAC champions! The Saints are headed back to the NCAA tournament. Liam Gleason, since he took the job in 2019, they've been knocking on the door. Well, today, they blew the door down. What a win.
A complete performance, end to end. It was the grad senior, Andrew Arcuri in net. It was the star on offense, Pratt Reynolds. Weathering the storm, weathering the chaos, gunning it out in the midfield. And this program is going back to the big dance for the first time since 2014.
Pratt Reynolds, 5 goals today. Now 55 goals on the season, the Siena School record holder. And it's Siena who becomes MAC champions. They're moving on to the NCAA tournament. They'll hear their name called in our selection show tomorrow night, 9:30 Eastern Time, right here on ESPNU. But you know what that's feeling is like when you can win a championship, Charlotte.
It takes so much. It takes a little bit of luck, but it takes so much dedication. So much dedication that you don't see on game day throughout the season. But it's all year long trying to play your best lacrosse come tournament time. It's a senior class that has felt so close, and now they stand alone at the top of the MAC.
Well, you mentioned that senior class. Pratt Reynolds, 5 goals today to lead the Saints to their first MAC championship in 11 years. Pratt, your class has been knocking on the door. Today you blew the door down. You're MAC champions. How'd you do it?
Oh, we just trust each other. We're the closest team I've ever been a part of. And we just fucking went out there. We went out there and we executed what we needed to do, and we just absolutely went off.
Your goalkeeper, Andrew Arcuri, gave you guys so many chances today. What can you say about his performance for you guys all season long?
He's been absolutely amazing. We have a shirt that's white. It says Juice on the back. He brought absolute juice with every single save he has. He is one hell of a goalkeeper, and it's great. I'm so excited.
Well, Pratt, you're headed to the NCAA tournament as a senior, single season record holder. What does it mean to put the program back on the national stage like this?
It's so exciting. You know, obviously all of our teammates have worked so hard all the way from September to now to be able to get to the place that we're at, and I'm just in disbelief right now. We've worked so hard for this, and I can't believe we're finally here.
All right, catch your breath, man. Congratulations.
Congrats.
MAC champions. Enjoy it.
Thank you so much.
So Siena has punched their ticket to the NCAA tournament to join Robert Morris, Towson, and Richmond. An incredible storybook season for Pratt Reynolds of this senior class to restore Siena to the top of the MAC. We thought it would be down to the wire, but Siena handled their business, dominating in that second half, a 12-8 win to win the MAC championship and head back to the NCAA tournament. For Charlotte North, our entire crew, I'm Jay Alter saying so long from the MAC championship. Congratulations. We're going to do this interview real quick, okay?
Yep, yeah, no worries.
Yep. Joined now by Liam Gleason, MAC champion. For the first time in 11 years, you've brought Siena back to the mountaintop. How does it feel?
It feels amazing, and this team was destined to do this, and they put so much hard work in this year, and I'm just so proud of them, and just so happy we were able to accomplish a MAC championship.
You got a star on offense in Pratt Reynolds. He came up with some clutch plays today. What can you say about his performance today and what he's done for this program?
That's who he is. He's an all-time great for Siena, and when we need him to make plays, we can count on him.
When you took this job in 2019, it was to restore Siena back to the top of the MAC. So much hard work went into this moment. What does it mean to finally get back and hold that trophy?
It means a lot, and it means a lot to not just the 50 guys out here, but so many of the alumni that come before them that support us so much. And I want to just, this is for them too. It's a big moment for our Siena lacrosse family.
Well, congratulations. Go enjoy it, and we look forward to hearing Siena's name at the selection show tomorrow night.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Jay. Thanks, Charlotte.
Congrats, Coach.
Huh? No, I think the director is getting off. We're just waiting. Let's start heading back.
Guys, on the side, let's go. We got this, baby!
We're gonna take pictures. Past the 40-yard line. Thank you.
Lacrosse Sport Administrator and Athletic Director at Mount St. Mary's University, Brad Davis, will present today's championship award. Now let's meet the members of the 2025 MacMan's Lacrosse All Championship team. From Quinnipiac University, Mason Oak. Quinnipiac University, Nate Watson. From Marist University, Blake Casado. From Marist University, Dylan Bedell. From Sacred Heart University, Jake Ward. From Sacred Heart University, Alex Azienzo.
Yeah, I got nothing.
From Siena College, Connor Huffnagel. From Siena College, Pratt Reynolds. From Siena College, Ryan McCarthy. And the 2025 Lacrosse Championship Most Outstanding Player is Andrew Arcuri from Siena College.
Andrew Arcuri. Night moves. Let's go. We're going to night moves. It was worth it.
that shell, all that fucking.
All that fucking work paid off. We collected.
We fucking cashed out, baby. We cashed that check.
Cox, we're taking those bets back to
No, Ron, you gotta get your finger.
Leave it, buddy. We're coming down.
Smart University for their second place finish this year.
Hey, we'll find one. Nice. Yo, class guys are good to go. Yo, lift, boys. There we go, lift, boys. Hey, what up,
Please come forward when your name is called.
Fucking Jury cleared. You're good. Jury cleared. Yeah, Pardo! Are we going up? What are we doing? Oh, okay. Pardo, let's go!
Hey, Nick! Hey!
We're gonna find that mask, don't worry. Yeah, take boom.
Johnny Carrington.
Hey, Craig! 40 that new hits.
Vito DeBellis.
What up, Debo?
Xander Durkat. Will Liddell.
I know.
Carter Ford.
Let's go, Hoff!
R.J. Opel. Peyton Kramer.
Let's go,
Tyler Kubranicek. Liam Lennon. Patrick Linton. Terry Mackey. Ryan McCarthy. Sean Miller. Will Miller. Finnegan Morin. Anthony Nicolucci. Hayden Olmstead. Nick Papagallis. Hayden Paddleford. Patrick Radomski. Adam Rayfield. Brett Reynolds. Andrew Rooney. Will Stiffen. Joe Valenza. Ryan Vogel. Jacob Wells. And Ryan Wilson. Administrators. Senior Woman Administrator Lori Inkle. Associate Athletic Director Andrew Santandera. Athletic Director John D. Argenio. Manager Foster Presserly. Media Manager John Clifford. Athletic Trainer Emily Glitti. Assistant Men's Lacrosse Coach Derek Eccles. Assistant Men's Lacrosse Coach Ryan Lanigan. Assistant Men's Lacrosse Coach Tim Cox. Head Men's Lacrosse Coach Ian Gleason. I'm here to present the 2025 Men's Lacrosse Coaches and Commissioner Carlos Patapachi. The year 2025, MAC Men's Lacrosse Champions are the Siena College Saints. Thank you.